Hello, good evening, and welcome to Camnet TV Main News. To present, my name is Jeffrey Ziambo. Top stories in the news tonight: the judiciary urged to remove 3 Constitutional Court judges from the bench. COVID-19 affects blood transfusion services. ZICTA starts deactivating SIM cards over-registered on one identity card. In international news, cyclone kills 20 in Madagascar and thousands left homeless. And in sports news, Liverpool forward Mohamed Salah could be in contention to face Leicester on Thursday.
Camnet TV is becoming big and better. You can now watch Camnet TV wherever you are around the world, simply by downloading the Camnet TV app. With Camnet TV app, you only use less bundles. Camnet TV, not just another channel.
Do you have an extra car? Then make yourself extra money. We would like to put that car, yes, that car parked there, to good use to make you extra money on the side just through its service while keeping it safe and secure. Call 0765 02 3883 to register your vehicle with us today. Delpo Services. Service beyond satisfaction.
Hello once again, another news in detail. Lusaka resident Joseph Wusenga has asked the Judicial Complaints Commission to start the process of removing 3 Constitutional Court judges from the bench on account that they did not handle in line with the Constitution President Hakainde Hichilema's petition in 2016. Mr. Wusenga has cited Justice Annie Sitali, Mungeni Mulenga and Palan Mulonda as respondents respectively. He has further alleged in his complaint that the 3 judges should be removed on grounds that they are incompetent and that they grossly misconducted themselves in the way they handled the said 2016 petition, hence consequently violating their judicial oaths. More in this report.
In 2016, the Constitutional Court dismissed the election petition filed by President Hakainde Hichilema when he was then opposition leader in challenging the re-election of former President Edgar Lungu. Almost 6 years passed after the court dismissed this case. A Lusaka resident, Joseph Wusenga, is now requesting the Judicial Complaint Commission to remove 3 Constitutional Court judges from the bench who were part in handling the said petition on ground that they did not handle the 2016 presidential election petition in line with the Constitution. Mr. Wusenga cited Justice Palan Mulonda, Annie Sitali, and Mungeni Mulenga as the respondent. He alleges that they are incompetent as they grossly misconducted themselves and consequently violated their judicial oath as they handled the petition unconstitutional. He submits that the 3 respondents' action constituted themselves as 3 members panel to interpret Article 1015 of the Constitution within the subject cause without there being any motion, application or pleading before the court or any direction from the judge president that the court will be reconstituted, or indeed any revise of the ruling of the full bench which set the date and the time for resumption of sitting to Monday 5th September 2016 was a clear deliberate violation of Article 129 of the Constitution, Section 4.2 of the Act, and the ruling on the part of the 3 judges which amounted to gross misconduct and contravened the judicial oath they had taken. Miriam Kaemba, reporting for Camnet TV News.
Meanwhile, Constitutional Court Judge Judith Mulongoti Tuesday morning cautioned lawyers in the Kabushi constituency parliamentary appeal against their laissez-faire conduct of delaying to serve documents on each other for hearing of the main matter which commenced today. This is in a case in which PF's Bowman Losambo had appealed in the Constitutional Court against the Ndola High Court decision to nullify his election as Kabushi constituency member of parliament. When the matter came up for hearing before a full bench, The court was forced to adjourn after hearing that lawyers had not served each other documents on time. More in this report.
The Constitutional Court has commenced hearing parliamentary election appeals of 8 opposition Patriotic Front whose seats were nullified last year by the high courts across the country. Tuesday, the court started faced with hearing the appeal of PF's Bowman Lusambo, who has cited losing UPND candidate Bernard Kanengi as the first respondent and Electoral Commission of Zambia as the second respondent. Last year, Mr. Kanengi successfully petitioned Mr. Lusambo's seat in the Ndola High Court. When the matter came up for hearing Tuesday morning, the court was forced to adjourn the matter following the late submissions of documents in the case by lawyers. The court told the parties that it was displeased with the laissez-faire conduct of lawyers who delayed to serve documents on each other for hearing of the main matter, which was scheduled for hearing this morning.
Just unfortunate that we were served the summons late by their parent, and we could not file in time, and my lawyers applied for leave, and leave has been granted. The case will come up for hearing on 25th February, same month, and I can't comment further than that.
Mr. Lusambo's elections were nullified on ground that there was widespread violence in Kabushi and electoral malpractices, and as such, Mr. Lusambo was not duly elected by the people of Kabushi. Mr. Lusambo has appealed against the Ndola High Court decision and is challenging the whole judgment delivered by the said lower court. He claims that the lower court erred in law and in fact when it shifted the burden of proof to him when it held that the failure to show that he attempted to stop the violence meant that he consented to it or he acknowledged the violence. Miriam Kaemba, reporting for Camnet TV News.
The European Union Mission Observer to Zambia has charged that the 12th August 2021 general elections in Zambia took place against the background of deepening polarization. EU Chief Observer to Zambia Maria Arena says the arbitrary and selective application of the law towards the opposition from competing and restricted freedom of assembly and movement was also observed. Ms. Arena says the ruling Patriotic Front government extensively used state resources and that its campaign was highly monopolized with the ruling party taking over prime time on public media. The EU has since made several recommendations in its final report, among them revising the outdated Public Order Act and the high registration fees, among other things.
So the EU-EOM concluded that the 2021 general election took place against a background of deepening polarization. Throughout the campaign, there were widespread concerns about potential escalation of violence. But despite the COVID-19 challenges, the electoral process was technically well managed. Arbitrary and selective application of the law impaired opposition candidates from competing under equal conditions and restricted freedom of assembly and movement. The ruling party extensively used state resources and its campaign was highly monetized, with the ruling party monopolizing the prime time and state and private media. There is an outdated Public Order Act of 1955, which mandates notification of public gathering to police, a law that has been selectively applied to restrict freedom of assembly, movement, and expression, contrary to international standards. Registration fees are excessive and non-refundable, even though women, youth, and persons with disabilities pay lower fees. The EU-EOM therefore recommends to revise candidacy requirements to enhance the right and the opportunity to stand by ensuring registration fees do not deter participation.
Stakeholders have lamented that despite Zambia enacting the Mental Health Act in 2019, people with mental health conditions often experience severe human rights violations, discrimination and stigma. Disability Rights Watch National Coordinator Bruce Choma notes that various provisions of the Act have not been actualized, including the need to operationalize the Mental Health Council and ensuring service provision at community level. He is concerned that as the country seeks to combat the COVID-19 pandemic, the response to mental illness has been poor.
An assessment that was conducted by the Ministry of Health revealed that COVID-19 has affected the response to other diseases. Undoubtedly, mental health is among diseases badly affected. People like this youth who was allegedly shot by the police during the gassing protest episode in the year 2020, never received counseling assistance to overcome the trauma he went through, and his mother is worried.
After one shooter, tachari kai ponu karibu. Chai kicha taravu nunda tachari kai ponu karibu, but palapa kunisha uba. Ngatapta uba ngapta na ngupamawe, ilu chari karibu. Ngapta vipamawe, ilu kwari kai ponu karibu. Ibulete na mu yalipiti na viwati.
As for now, he is emotionally disturbed. Then he can do anything because his condition, he might look okay when you look at him, but the way he behaves, you can tell that he's not okay. He's not emotionally okay.
He is among the many citizens that need counseling services to safeguard their psychosocial well-being to help them stay away from getting into a crisis like others who have been let down by their families and society. University Teaching Hospital psychiatrist registrar Dr. Naim Dalo says due to worry and stress over the coronavirus and loss of income among other issues, some people resort to bad coping mechanisms such as substance abuse, thus worsening the mental health problem in Zambia, a trend he says must be reversed.
Now with coronavirus, as we have witnessed, there have been a lot of changes in our daily living. Things are more expensive, the socioeconomic condition is different. Preventive measures have also been put in place, such as schools have closed down. So we have to look at all the different people that are affected by COVID-19. Everyone is affected by COVID-19, psychologically, emotionally, as well as socially.
Some people, in a quest to uphold their status as social media celebrities, Zambia has been treated to unusual behaviors that may require a mental health therapy. And what is worrying is that others are being exploited both on social and mainstream media. Mental Health Users Network of Zambia coordinator Sylvester Katontoka reminds families to embrace relatives suffering from mental illness.
Our own sister, our own brother, our own mother, our own father. Why should mental illness separate them from the family? No. I think for me, this is the worst criminality, cruelty that Zambia is giving to its own people.
Disability Rights Watch National Coordinator Bruce Choma is disappointed over the failure to effectively implement the Mental Health Act of 2019.
The Mental Health Act has been very explicit in saying that mental health and physical health services shall have equal status. That means that whatever attention the state is giving to other health conditions that are physical in nature, whether it is HIV/AIDS, whether it is mothers and children, antenatal, and other services, they must ensure that also mental health services access an equal amount of support.
Everyone is a potential mental health victim. Hence, combating the disease remains a collective responsibility. Patrick Soko, Camnet TV News in Lusaka.
Residents of Makeni Villa in Kanyama constituency have called for the construction of a police post in the area to improve security. In separate interviews, the residents say the area has never had a police post, leaving them to depend on the one in Kanyama compound, which is a distance of about an hour. They state that community gangs locally known as junkies have taken advantage of the situation, causing them to leave their businesses early for fear of being attacked. More in this report.
Peace, justice, and strong institutions are one of the core fundamentals of a democracy, as they act as a backbone for the upholding of human rights. While Zambia seems to be doing well on national security through recruitments like the Zambia Police and the Armed Forces, concerns about security on the local level still exist. This is the case of Makeni Villa residents in Banda area of Kanyama constituency, who are calling for the building of a police post in the area as one way of enhancing community security. In interviews, the residents say the area has never had a police post, stating that the nearest one is in Kanyama compound, which is about 1 hour away on foot, making it difficult for them to access police services when urgently needed.
For a long time, most of the times, are affected. Guy police kuzapeza kukachitika incidents instead of cheo report for police kuja kutuma titalikira kuja, so it becomes a challenge otherwise, more especially now in the area at ways you are young halabaning chema junkie. Yeah, it has been filled with junkies, so you know we find it difficult for us when we report kuja, so it can be a good move if maybe they bring a police station just within here in Kanyama.
Sitienda usiku tuyopa twenda wazituli mu nyumba mayi wanga batiyanga nireko chepa fupi chapika wanga bweleko chebo tuyanga nako no polisi wakatandizire kutandizo ndiye ameti pempa chapi tingale mutendelo tituziyopa shuwa.
The residents have challenged the United Party for National Development UPND administration to state its plans for areas without police posts in the same way it has been talking about restoring the rule of law by ending Kadarism.
Majanki kuno watu munda elo manje bamuna banga ino bana bachitataki kubamenya kubakwesera kumatika no hapo ka phone so manje tunando chita report bajanki sibanaoneka banatabataba nibo zifita konse vilonda kumeso twaoneka pona bwino iya ndio polisi majanki yakakisa ukombuka usiku so bakikuza para market pesa majanki wali broad manje kuminya abantu so
according to the 2021 third quarter crime statistics from the Zambia Police, the country recorded over 14,000 cases of crime countrywide, while various items such as phones, laptops, and other items were recently recovered from suspected criminals. These statistics have compelled residents of the area to call for a police post, adding that the same should be done urgently before lives and property are lost. Zipporah Mshala, Camnet News, Lusaka.
The Zambia Information and Communications Technology Authority, ZICTA, says it has begun the process of deactivating more than 10 SIM cards that are registered in one national registration card as one way of curbing digital crimes. Addressing the media Tuesday, ZICTA Acting Director General Engineer Mutale has also cautioned members of the public against responding to suspicious messages requesting money to avoid being scammed. He has further advised citizens to verify the registration status of their SIM cards with their service providers to avoid being inconvenienced when the authority undertakes the final stage of deregistration in March 2022. More in this report.
The past 1 year has seen an increase in the number of reports where people have allegedly been scammed through mobile money services or through online money-making schemes. Barely 3 months ago, a group representing 3,000 people reported to the Zambia Police that they had been scammed out of a collective amount of 1 million kwacha by an online money-making platform which promised them profit from their investment before deciding to close down the same platform with their investment still in it. The statistics of digital crime have concerned the Zambia Information Communications Technology Authority, ZICTA, who say they have begun the process of deactivating more than 10 SIM cards that are registered in one national registration card. Addressing the media Tuesday, ZICTA Acting Director General Engineer Mutale says the process, which began on 7th February 2022, will end on 7th March 2022. He asked that the authority is targeting to deregister over 500,000 non-compliant SIM cards in line with Statutory Instrument number 65 of 2011, which demands that a person should not own more than 10 SIM cards without proper justification.
By March 7, 2022, all unclaimed and generally non-compliant SIM cards will be deactivated. The deactivation will be done after 14 days from the commencement of service suspension. The last stage After the deactivation period, all subscribers with deactivated numbers will be given a window of 90 days to claim their mobile numbers by visiting nearest service centers with valid identity cards. Once the 90 days grace period is expired, all deactivated numbers will be made available for reassignment as well as reproduction and sale by mobile network operators to members of the general public. The authority wishes to encourage all subscribers to check the status of the SIM card registration by dialing *101# and regularize any anomalies immediately to avoid any inconvenience or losing their numbers.
Meanwhile, ZICTA Director Consumer Protection and Information Management, Mr. SALAH, has also added his voice.
One of the biggest challenges we have right now is that these thieves who are buying pre-registered SIM cards are also going further to use the SIM cards registered in innocent Zambians to perpetuate crime. So when we are helping the police to find these criminals, we are ending up detaining innocent consumers for days when you are actually supposed to be innocent. So we are saying partner with us. The DG is talking about us partnering with the police and other stakeholders, but I think our greatest partnership is with consumers. Partner with us so that we are able to at least remove you from that scourge.
The authority has further advised citizens not to entertain suspicious messages requesting for money, but report them to the relevant authorities. Zipporah Mshala, Camnet News, Lusaka.
Ministry of Information Media Director Tawo Kawana says government will not entertain a trend by some civil servants of diluting government policies for selfish motives. Mr. Kawana says reports suggesting that pupils are being compelled to contribute a ream of plain papers at Mandanga School in Mongo District will not be allowed. He adds that government will also follow up on the issue in Sefula, where visually impaired persons were not being given adequate money under the social cash transfer scheme. And Western Province Acting Permanent Secretary Dr. Francis Sidiawali said the provincial administration is keen to address issues affecting the people.
How was your undertaking in this?
Going around provinces, engaging our people, explaining government programs, but also listening to our people and knowing fully that there's a lot of misinformation out there, so that our people can directly engage with us and we can give them the correct information and what they need to know about government programs. One of the issues that was raised yesterday or last night on radio, my PS, is that they raised an issue, two issues actually. One is an issue with Mandanga School, where at Mandanga School the head is asking the students to bring reams of paper. And right now he's sitting on a room full of ream of paper. And this is a headmaster who's aware that under our policy for free education, all the students need to do is present themselves in uniform and not to bring any other matter. Your government, my PS, has provided money for stationery in the schools. And the issue was in Sefula that our officers dealing with social cash transfer there, we are giving our visually impaired people on social cash transfer complained to me last night that they were given money in shortfall and they were made to sign, and when they went back to say we have counted this money is short, our officers had the audacity to abuse them, tell them off, and tell them there's nothing they can do now that they have signed. So I promised them that I will bring the matter to the relevant authority, and I'm hereby reporting to you, my PS, that is what is happening in Sefula.
It's important for people to understand that this government means well, and we don't just talk about these things. We want to see, monitor, and ensure that things are in place. We have
A Mansa-based teacher, Lombe Pawalwani, who invented a free online learning platform for pupils in Zambia, says there is need to roll out the project in all parts of the country. Mr. Pawalwani has explained that pupils from grade 5 to grade 12 can now access free online classes and notes on a mobile platform without stressing about the COVID-19 pandemic. He says the response from the public has been overwhelming and says if stakeholders and the government can come on board, the project will reach even pupils in remote areas. And Catherine Katongo, a parent based in Luansha on the Copperbelt, has recommended the virtual school to parents in the country.
The online classes under distant virtual school has actually received overwhelming response apparently, and we have quite a number of enrollments, and we actually feel this project must be rolled out in all the 10 provinces. I want my brother in Kaputa, my brother in Shangombo to be able to access free online education. Our vision to supplement government's efforts in line with the policy of free physical education. My focus with my team, we plan to roll out this project in all the 10 provinces. Our appeal, our request is to stakeholders, President Hakainde Hichilema and the line ministries. Please, sir, come on board and help us support this vision of supplementing your efforts to ensure that we provide free online education.
My son Matthew enrolled last year in 2021 with a distinct virtual school. What prompted me to enroll him was the fact that we had relocated and he had to change schools in grade 11. Hence, his one of his subjects was affected as he had to drop it and pick up a fresh one.
The Tourism Ministry Permanent Secretary Evans Mohanga has underscored the need to invest in proper accommodation and conferencing facilities in order to position Zambia as a preferred destination for meetings, incentives, conferences and exhibitions, MICE. Mr. Mohanga says the growth of the tourism sector requires good accommodation facilities and conferences that will attract tourists. The Permanent Secretary says Zambia still has to work extremely hard to be able to attract the destination for MICE activities. More in the following report.
Travel and tourism plays an important role in the economic development of Zambia. Over the years, the industry has grown steadily to become one of the most important economic segments in the country. It is also amongst the largest sources of foreign exchange. However, the COVID-19 pandemic has hit the sector badly, which has seen a reduced number of tourists visiting Zambia, thereby reducing the amount of forex in the economy. Ministry of Tourism Permanent Secretary Evans Mohanga, who spoke at the executive breakfast meeting in Lusaka Tuesday, has encouraged investment in accommodation and conferencing facilities in order to position Zambia as a preferred destination for meeting incentives, conferences and exhibitions, MICE.
Zambia often travel to international events, and with the exception of rotation hosting, we do not invite those meetings back to our destinations. The reality is that we struggle to make ends meet on our own, and to carry the extra value of hosting international delegates is something we do not venture in. But this is an opportunity that is here for all of you that are involved in this sector.
Mr. Mohanga also says the increasing improvement in infrastructure in the country has an opportunity to lead the region in MICE tourism, which will have a positive impact on the economy.
The future of Zambia is highly dependent on the size and quality of the product portfolio. We have the facilities, we have the human factor, but this human factor needs to play its role to get as much detail as we can.
While tourism sites play an important role in attracting tourists, one important component, which is food, is often neglected while it plays an important role. The Zambia National Farmers Union has since emphasized the need that farmers' produce, in this case food, plays in attracting tourists.
The takeaways that people are going to have. It's not just about the accommodation and the best tourist destinations and so on. They also talk about the food. If the food is not very good, people will go and talk about it wherever they go. But if we are going to promote local cuisines, local culinary cuisines, when people go back to their countries, they'll be talking about Zambia having the best beef, Zambia having the best corn.
Zambia is blessed with many tourism sites and abundance of opportunities to attract forex which are not being utilized, hence the wake-up call. Prudence Chota reporting for Camnet TV News.
This is Camnet TV News. We'll take our first commercial break. I'll be back with more news after the break.
We welcome you to the wonderful world of Savenda Electronics.
At Savenda Electronics, we pride ourselves in manufacturing high-quality electricity and water meters.
Boasting of the first of its kind state-of-the-art manufacturing plant in Zambia, Savenda Electronics manufactures customized smart electricity and water meters of international standards for both the local and international water and electricity utility companies. Our highly computerized factory, run by qualified staff, makes, calibrates, and electronically tests the smart meters to ensure only those meeting customer specifications are delivered to the market. Some of the main features which come with our meters includes notifications about low units, tempering, low battery, and many more customized features. Savenda Electronics provides on and off-site after-sales service and has favorable contract terms for water and electricity utility companies. Savenda Electronics, the real deal.
Your skin is the biggest muscle in your body. That's why we make sure that Oracle is #1 when it comes to taking care of your precious skin. Oracle Pure Petroleum Jelly and Glycerin soothes, moisturizes, and keeps your skin perfect. Oracle Pure Petroleum products for that perfect skin.
Team, the trajectory of the business looks very positive, and it looks like we'll be able to launch the.
She has so much data.
Mom.
Yes, baby.
It says here, global warming and climate change is caused by the pollution from careless activities of human beings.
Wow!
Son, do you know I can turn my phone into a TV remote?
How's that possible?
It's so easy. Check this out.
Be smart, be fast with mega data from Zamtel. Get your 15 GB mobile data for only 100 kwacha, 30 GB mobile data for only 200 kwacha, and your 70 GB LTE data bundle with free Netflix, YouTube, Facebook, and WhatsApp. Visit our Facebook page, website, or service centers countrywide for more information. Zamtel, your digital lifestyle partner.
Do you have an extra car? Then make yourself extra money. We would like to put that car, yes, that car parked there, to good use to make you extra money on the side just through its service while keeping it safe and secure. Call 0765 02 3883 to register your vehicle with us today. Delpo Services. Service beyond satisfaction.
Welcome back. A medical doctor, Joseph Mulenga at UTH, specialized in blood-transmitted diseases, says Zambia has seen a 30% drop in blood supply because of few donations. And the Lusaka resident has appealed to members of the public to take part in saving people's lives through the donation of blood. More in this following report.
No, I'm not scared. Not scared.
Is it your first time?
Yes, my first time.
The University of Zambia Teaching Hospitals houses the Lusaka Provincial Blood Transfusion Center that collects blood in two main ways, through mobile outreach and at fixed site. Before the COVID-19 pandemic, the center collected approximately 90% of blood from mobile outreach and 10% from fixed site. Presently, blood collection during the COVID-19 pandemic has reduced because people believe that by donating blood, they could be contracting COVID-19. Secondly, when the partial lockdown was declared and all learning institutions were closed, causing mobile blood collection to cease. A Lusaka resident has since appealed to the members of the public to participate in the donation of blood even amidst COVID. In an interview with Camnet News, she discloses that a lot of people with critical medical conditions require blood that is donated.
I think it's fear sometimes. I think they just have fear in them. But it's good to save a life. At least someone, if you are able to help your friend, it's better to save a life.
Meanwhile, a medical doctor, Joseph Mulenga, specialized in blood transmitted diseases, says Zambia has seen 30% drop in blood transfusion since COVID-19.
Really, the challenge was more pronounced, especially during the lockdown period, because you can imagine that apart from the inability to access traditional donor bases, the donors themselves are very anxious. They do not know whether just being in a blood donation environment or session, whether they would get the virus or not. There are issues of social distancing, again, where donors, the whole scenario of blood donation just becomes unfamiliar with everyone, causing a lot of anxiety. So the net effect is that you have fewer blood donations and fewer blood stocks.
The primary beneficiaries of the blood are expectant mothers, pediatric, renal, and cancer sections. Therefore, if the COVID-19 pandemic continues, the trend of blood donation is likely to continue, and this will negatively impact the blood beneficiaries. Blessings Chakwila, Camnet News, Lusaka.
A Lusaka-based environmental activist, William Harrington, has challenged the area member of parliament for Fera constituency, Emmanuel Tembo, to not trivialize the damage the mining activities will cause on both the local people and wildlife in the lower Zambezi. This follows remarks made by the said MP, who claimed that the mining industry will boost the economic status of the local people. And Worldwide Fund for Nature WWF Zambia Country Director Nachida Lankombo says the government must reverse the decision considering devastating outcomes attached to mining in the lower Zambezi. More in the following report.
Debates on the mining activities on the lower Zambezi has intensified, having various stakeholders giving their take on the matter. Earlier, government gave a go-ahead of the embattled open-pit mining project in the heart of the lower Zambezi National Park, provided that there will be a strict adherence to measures set by the Zambia Environmental Management Agency, ZEMA, to limit damage to the environment to a minimum. Since then, a number of stakeholders have given their stance, including the area member of parliament for Fire constituency, Emmanuel Tembo, who is in support, saying it would benefit the local communities economically. He says this when he made an appearance on a special interview on Camnet News.
In your feelings, you think that is okay. But the one who was not eating, is so angry when he is hungry. So that is what is happening there. So whilst people may know that people are poor, they may not understand the gravity of the matter. This is a serious issue. Let me even emphasize the point. I'm from there. I know what is happening. I was privileged to go to school, yes, but I want more. And this is what I put before the company that will be mining. We want corporate social responsibility. We want to invest there. Our children are so brilliant. We want schools done. Because school also is a game changer. So this mining, we are not supporting the mine because we love the company that is mining. No. We have our own interest. Which interest is community development?
However, an environmental expert, William Harrington, has challenged the area MP's position, saying the issue must not be taken lightly, considering the impact that the mining activity will cause on both human and wildlife.
Lion shop in his constituency. Tembo should, as a lawmaker, show seriousness and maturity over the proposed Lower Zambezi mining project, instead of trivializing the need to protect the world-renowned natural environment and ecosystem, which is a long-established habitat for Zambia's precious wildlife for the benefit of tourism, promotion and development. The lawmaker should know that the open pit mining project is a serious matter which should not be trivialized in any way.
In the same vein, Worldwide Fund for Nature Country Director Nachilala Nkombo says government must reverse the decision considering devastating outcomes attached to mining on the lower Zambezi.
There is also a fishing community. The fishing livelihoods. The fishing livelihoods that are threat are not only again on the Zambian side, they're on the Mozambican side, and also on the Zimbabwean side. Thirdly, the current setup is that the tourism industry could actually do more, but it's providing already over 1,000 jobs in the area. So when you look at just the equation around jobs, around economic opportunity, this mine that is being proposed is not really proposing to solve the Zambian poverty problem. It's not even proposing to solve the poverty problems of the people in Lower Zambezi. So we need to think a bit deeper before we make decisions for a few pieces of silver that is going to sacrifice a whole ecosystem.
When all is said and done, what remains is to see things unfold. Alex Shimba, Camnet News, in Lusaka.
Minister of Small and Medium Enterprise Development has advised civil servants in Siavonga district to form cooperatives in order to uplift their livelihoods other than just waiting for their salaries. SME's Minister Evans Momanga said this when he addressed the heads of departments and civil servants in the District Commissioner's office during his tour of duty in the district. He says civil servants, like any other local individuals, are free to form cooperatives but will not be allowed to compromise their line of duty, but should instead appoint chief executive officers to run their businesses. Mr. Mwanga has explained that it was the mandate of the New Dawn government to revamp the economy by helping the small businesses to grow.
Under the New Dawn government, and some of the programs are directly within your hands as heads of departments. The New Dawn government is also encouraging the change of mindset change. The way you worked with the previous government must be looked at, and you need to confine yourselves with the New Dawn government policy. And the policy of the new government is to revamp the economy. That's our mandate, and that's what we are doing. I'm sure you'll be able to notice within the last 5 months of being in office what we've done and what we're doing. We engage. We'll be coming to chat with you, talk with you, like what I've done. There must be engagements from the minister's office in all the ministries into the implementing team, who are yourselves.
This is Camnet TV. We take another break. We'll be back with international and sports news after the break.
You know I can take her a bit.
Yes, my dear.
I was thinking of getting you a Bugatti on your birthday.
Really?
I'm quiet. My name is Yana.
Don't worry, man. That's why there is insurance.
Insurance?
You heard me.
Not just any kind of insurance, but Savenda General Insurance, a company that offers superior customer service, highly professional and dedicated staff. We are not just any insurance company, but an insurance company that actually pays our claims. We cover, among others, fire, marine, aviation, engineering, agriculture, motor vehicle, and miscellaneous insurance. So, live life to the full, knowing that Savenda General Insurance has got you covered. Savenda General Insurance. Insurance excellence.
Do you have an extra car? Then make yourself extra money. We would like to put that car, yes, that car parked there, to good use to make you extra money on the side just through its service while keeping it safe and secure. Call 0765 02 3883 to register your vehicle with us today. Delpo Services. Service beyond satisfaction.
Camnet TV is becoming big and better. You can now watch Camnet TV wherever you are around the world, simply by downloading the Camnet TV app. With Camnet TV app, you only use less bundles. Camnet TV, not just another channel.
Welcome back. In international news, an estimated 13 million people face severe hunger in the Horn of Africa due to consistent drought conditions. According to the United Nations World Food Programme, $327 million is needed to meet immediate needs over the next 6 months and help rural communities become more resilient to recurring climate shocks. Meanwhile, Cyclone Batsirai is blamed for the deaths of 20 people in Madagascar and for making more than 55,000 people homeless victims after slamming into the island's eastern coast, officials said on Monday. For more in international news, here's a roundup.
Officials are blaming Cyclone Batsirai for the death of 20 people in Madagascar and for making more than 70,000 people homeless victims after slamming into the island's eastern coast. The World Food Programme Director in Madagascar, Paqualina Di Sirio, warned that rice crops had been damaged by the cyclone, threatening the country's supply for months to come.
We have 150,000 people affected, but these numbers they can easily raise. We have right now still the waters increasing in the canals and the rivers, and people they are still at danger. We know for sure that the rice field and rice crops will be damaged, will be lost. So this is the main crop for Malagasy people, and they will be seriously affected in their food security in the next 3-6 months if we don't do something immediately and we don't help them to recover.
Some 77% of Madagascar's 28 million people live below the poverty line, and the latest blow comes during a severe drought in the south, which has plunged more than 1 million people into acute malnutrition, some facing famine. An estimated 13 million people in Kenya, Somalia and Ethiopia are facing severe hunger as the Horn of Africa experiences its worst drought in decades, the United Nations said Tuesday. The drought has destroyed crops and inflicted abnormally high livestock deaths, forcing rural families who rely on herding and farming to abandon their homes. We haven't had the last 2 rainy seasons. We never experienced this before. We only see dust storms now. We are afraid that they will cover us all and become our graveyard, like what happens in the desert. The UN World Food Programme said 3 consecutive rainy seasons have failed as the region recorded its driest conditions since 1981.
The Horn of Africa is in the midst of a severe drought affecting up to 13 million people. Southern Ethiopia, northern Kenya and Somalia are impacted, livestock are dying, crops are failing and populations are being forced from their homes.
The UN Children's Agency, meanwhile, assesses that as many as 20 million people in those 3 countries plus Eritrea will need water and food assistance over the next 6 months.
It's now time for sports news. And in sports news, Liverpool forward Mohamed Salah could be in contention to face Leicester on Thursday. Salah's Egypt were beaten in a penalty shootout in which the captain did not take a spot kick by Senegal in Sunday's showpiece final in Cameroon. Jurgen Klopp has confirmed Salah's return despite him being very disappointed of the final results of the AFCON. Klopp adds that Salah is looking forward to the games that will be forthcoming. Sadio Mane, who scored the winning penalty, joined celebrations in the Senegalese capital Dakar on Monday and will not return to England in time to play in Thursday's game. Mane, who was named player of the tournament at the end of Senegal's AFCON triumph, described winning the trophy with his country as the best day of his life. To end the news, the headlines once again. The judiciary urged to remove 3 Constitutional Court judges from the bench. COVID-19 affects blood transfusion services. ZICTA starts deactivating SIM cards over-registered on one identity card. In international news, cyclone kills 20 in Madagascar, thousands left homeless. And in sports news, Liverpool forward Mohamed Salah could be in contention to face Leicester on Thursday. We now look at the Camnet verse of the day, which is coming from the book of Psalms 97 verse 10. You who love the Lord hate evil. He protects the souls of his godly ones who are the believers. He rescues them from the hand of the wicked. Thank you for watching Camnet TV, just another channel. My name is Jeffrey Ziambo. Bye-bye.